Hi, so I'm looking at a grade 8 algebra test. It's mostly about expressions and also, identifying like terms and unlike terms. So we start off with the first one here. So you have got the x. Let me rearrange the terms containing x as well as the terms containing y. So you have got, remember there is a 1 in front of this variable that we do not necessarily write. But if you have 1x and you add 3 more x's to it, you're going to have 4x. And the same with 1y plus 4y, that's going to give you 5y. And that's where you end, because remember, you can't add further because these terms are not like terms anymore. Like terms must be exactly the same variables and also raised to the same power. So in this case, again, if I was to do exactly the same thing, I'm just rearranging all the a's together and all the b's together. Something worth noticing is that the first one here, there is a 1. So you have 1 minus 2a. Well, that's going to leave you minus a. And here you have minus b. So that's like minus 1b and another 3b. You can take out the negative and add the terms there. At the end of the day, you have minus a minus 4b. It's also important that you do understand how to work with directed numbers, okay, and adding and subtracting of directed numbers. So please don't make mistake with the negative signs. Question 2a, you are supposed to state whether the following pair consists of like or unlike terms. So first of all, because this is raised to the power of 2 and this is raised to the power 1, although they have the same variable m, they are unlike. The 8 that I put here is just for a distraction. It plays no role. You have to look at the variables and they must be raised to the same power. So these two pairs are therefore unlike. When you look at what you have over here is that the variable c has a square on it, the same like on this side here, and the d is raised to the power of 1. Although this one is not written alphabetically, they are still therefore like terms. So like terms do not necessarily have to be written to you alphabetically. Same variable raised to the same power, and the coefficients don't play really an important role there. Only when we are adding or subtracting. Okay, another one, 6a plus 8a. Of course, you are just going to add these coefficients. That is 14a. Now, one of the things that I always say, please remember, this is like a negative 11y plus a 5y. Since both of them have got the negative, I actually took out the negative sign. So it's like on a number line, you are somewhere at negative 11, and you know that you are going further. Think of it as you are minus 11 degrees below 0, and you are still going 5 degrees below 0. So that takes you further away. In any case, this answer here is minus 16y. Well, these a's are the coefficients of a third and 2 over 5. So what I will suggest that you do, because normally learners have problems, just add the fractions together, but I'm only adding the fractions of the a together. Okay, so if I do that, I will have the LCM, which is 15, okay, of 3 and 5. So remember how we add fractions. You multiply here by 3 because 5 goes into 15 3 times, and you should also multiply the numerator by 3. You multiply here by 5 because 3 goes into 15 5 times, and you also multiply that part by 5. So at the end of the day, it's going to be 5 plus 6. All right. So that gives you 11 over 15, but now bring its variable there. Is that clear? All right. So I'm going to do the same with the ones for B. Perhaps I'm just going to do it in a different color. All right, so I'm going to have the 3/4 plus the 1 over 8. Let me add the fractions, and I'm going to put b over there. Now, if I look at the lowest common multiple of 4 and 8, it happens to be 8. because 4 goes into 8 2 times, and 8 goes in itself once. So on top you have 6 plus 1. So of course, adding that is going to give me 7 over 8, and you can just leave your answer for this particular question. I would accept an answer whether the fraction is improper, 7 over 8b. Don't forget to put your values of b there. So D is very similar. It's just that you have got decimals. So if you were to rearrange, let's get all the x together. So you have negative 0.5x plus 0.375x. Then you have negative 0.46y minus 0.257y. Now you know that 0.5 is bigger than negative 0.375. You have to look at the position of the tens. So what I suggest you do is maybe you can do that on the side, just so you don't get confused. Why don't you say 0.5, let me subtract 0.375, okay? Now remember, I'm doing this on the side, but I'm going to put the answer on the negative because this is the same scenario like you have minus 5, let's say plus 2. The answer will be negative 3, but 5 minus 2 is... So what I'm doing, I'm saying 5 minus 2, but I know my answer must still have the negative. Okay? So it's basically the same thing that I'm doing over there. So if that is the case, and I had to do it on this side, maybe I need to write this stuff here so that it is not confusing. So we're going to say 0.5, we're going to take away 0.375. And I know you know how to add and subtract decimals, and it's the same concept. All right, so obviously you can't subtract 5 from here, so you're going to go all the way and borrow. That leaves it with a 4. This is going to become a 9. So 1 minus 5 is 5. Then you have 9 minus 7, that is a 2. And 4 minus 3, that is a 1. All right, so at the end of the day, the answer here must be negative. So I have got negative 0.125x. Now, let me also do the same for the y's now. But you see that the y's, both of them, have got a negative term. All right, so this is perhaps something I want to bring to your attention. You can see you have a negative there, you have a negative there. So think of it like this. If you have minus 3, minus 8, both of these terms have a negative in front of them. So I take that negative out and I add the numbers. So this answer, for example, will be negative 11. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to say, okay, negative 0. So I'm taking out. So I'll add them. So let me just also do it under here, just so that you can follow. So I'm going to say 0.46 plus 0.257. So you're going to add, all right, that gives you a 7 over there. That gives you a 1 that carries over, and that gives you a 7. So this answer is 0.717. But remember what I said, you have got two negatives, so this answer should also be negative. So I've got minus 0.717y. Do not forget to put your value of y there. Okay, so in a nutshell, this question D here and question C are very similar. It's just that at question C, you are dealing with vulgar fractions, numerator, denominator, and here you are dealing obviously with decimal fractions. Question 4, a rectangle is 8e centimeters long and 4e centimeters wide. So we ask you the perimeter of the rectangle. So I hope you know that the distance over here on top is also 4e, because the opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. And the distance over this side here is going to be 4e. So having said that, the perimeter is going to be 8e plus 8e plus 4e plus 4e. In case you know the formula, it's 2 of these 8e's that you are going to add together and 2 of these 4e's that you're going to add together. At the end of the day, you have got 16e plus 8e. As long as you get to finalize this. But here's the thing. The e's are like terms, so this answer is nothing but 24e because 8e plus 16e gives you 24e. So when the question says write your answer in terms of e, your answer must contain e. Now they are saying if e is equal to 6, right, what is the perimeter? And remember, the answer here has to be in centimeters. Okay, another way, because I said this is not a non-calculator paper, and I expect you to know how to multiply, but of course, let's just say 24 is 20 plus 4, and if I multiply that by 6, 6 times 20, that's 120, and 6 times 4, that's 24. So when you add those, you get 144 centimeters without making a mistake. All right, completing the missing distances. So let's first do this. Let's first add what I have. I have 15 plus 8 plus 11 plus 6. Okay, if I add this, is going to give me 40. 15 plus 8 is 23. 23 plus 11 is 34, and 34 plus 6 is 40. Okay, now let me fill in the missing values that are there, and you see this value here is missing. Then this value you find by saying, okay, 15, which is that distance over there, excuse me, you're going to take that whole distance, and I'm going to say, of course, to find this distance, you're going to take this whole distance over there, which is the 15, and you're going to subtract this 6, because remember, that is basically what I'm dealing with. This whole distance from here is 15. So this distance will be 6. That 15 take away 6. And when you do so, it's going to give us 9. So I'm going to add that 9 over there. Now this is also similar. This whole distance over here is 11 plus 8. Do you see that? It's that 11 plus this 8, which is basically 19. So this top part is also 19. All right. So that means I must add 19 on that part. Okay. All right. So you have got 19 plus 9. Let's just make sure that you do get the correct answer. So that's 15 plus 8, that's 23, plus 11, 23 plus 11 of 23 plus 10 is 33, is 34, 34 plus 6 is 40, 40 plus 40, 40 plus 9 is 49, plus 19, 9 plus 9, of course 9 plus 9 is 18, so I get 68. So I must just quickly see where did I go wrong. I'm going to grab my calculator. So I have 6 plus 11 plus 8 plus 15. That's the 40 plus 9 plus 19. That gives me 68. Good. So the perimeter is 68 centimeters. Then question 6, the length of the sides of a triangle are given to you as 3y, 4y, and 5x. As you can see, you're supposed to express this in terms of x and y. So let's add what we can add. So 4y plus 3y plus 5x. So when you add the y's together, that gives you 7y plus 5x. Or the other way around, doesn't really matter. Okay? Question 7, simplify the expression. So I'm just going to rewrite the like terms together. 6x plus 5x. And then I have minus 2y minus 8 minus 2y, sorry. It's minus 2y minus y. minus 2y minus y. Of course, this gives you 11x here and minus 3y here, minus 8. Remember, negative, there's a 1 in front here that we do not write. So it's 11x minus 3y minus 8. So they want us to find the value of the whole expression there if x is equal to negative 2 and y is equal to 3. So do this, put brackets where the letters are, and now you go ahead and you go put in the value. So x is negative 2, so you substitute that negative 2 over there. Then y is 3 and you substitute it over there. So this is minus 22 and you have minus 9 minus 8. Now remember what I said, you've got all negative terms, and the way you deal with that, you take out the negative and then you add all the terms inside. All right, you will see that 22 plus 8, that's 30, and 30 plus 9. So the final answer here is negative 39. Okay, thanks for watching and good luck with your studies, grade 8.